Right, okay, everyone. Yay! Number 10. Oh, a librarian. Quiet in the library. Oh, librarians are so freaking awesome. And I have just found out from the internet today that we're getting a special issue on subscription of the library, a named librarian called Tigress. Now, of course, he's not going to be that for mine, but he's going to be. I might even have to really convert him up to make him as part of my Emperor's Sons. It doesn't matter. It's a librarian. So we're getting two librarians if you're on the subscription. And this one, rather cool, is in Terminator Armour by the look of it, which makes him even more brutally hard. And I'm sorry, but this is amazing. You know, you've got proper, beautiful runic details in there. I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to paint this librarian, because traditionally librarians are blue. So they basically are painted in a deeper colour blue than, say, the ultramarine blue. So what that means is that I'm going to have to think about how to get him part of my Emperor's Sons chapter without just painting him blue, if that kind of makes sense. So, oh, and we get a brush. I'll show you them in a second. So we got our how to build said librarian. Push fit librarian, I think, yeah. So that speeds us up a little bit. I'm curious if there is an alternative head on this librarian. Sometimes they have alternatives, sometimes they don't. No, it does not look like. So it looks like he's open-helmed, this guy. The other thing I'm looking for is whether or not there's specific lead chapter insignia on him. So no, there's not chapter insignia either, which is a good thing. Okay, so then of course how to paint. So to begin with, you're going to find that you're painting him ultramarine blue. It's a very standard thing across all chapters that that librarians were blue. However, don't be afraid if you're making your own custom chapter to do your librarian in the colours of your chapter, but then put blue on them in very specific places, you know, just to kind of show that, yeah, this is a librarian, he's different, but I really wanted him to be part of the chapter. So getting your painting underway, again, I'll be trying to roughly follow that, but with my colour schemes. The ecclesiarchy, basically the official faith of the Imperium. Again, as someone who loves his Horus Heresy era, the Imperium is a brutal dictatorial theocracy with the God Emperor as the spiritual leader, even though he's like trapped in a golden throne, immovable. In the Horus Heresy era and the Great Crusade era, the Emperor is a militant atheist. Like literally not even a secularist who's kind of like live and let live. You know, you believe what you want to believe as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. No, he is a militant atheist. He is like, you know, Christopher Hitchens filled with steroids, basically, eradicating any religion he sees, because he knows that that's how chaos spreads. Even a good religion can be a gateway to chaos. So it's a beautiful contrast, actually. The Imperium of the Great Crusade under the Emperor with its militant atheism, and the extreme in Warhammer 40,000, where they are basically an extremist theocracy, predominantly based around a lot of Christian ethoses, really. There's no other way to put it. It's heavily inspired by the Catholic Church in appearance. But it doesn't matter. They are at two extremes, and how one leads to the other is the beauty of that story. That's one of the things that they got spot on with the Horus Heresy. No doubt about it. So learn about the faith of the Imperium, so that you can read the Horus Heresy, scratch your head and go, hang on a second, how the hell did they go from militant atheism to extreme theocracy? Right. Some cool little lore about different Space Marine units. The Brutalis Dreadnought, we're getting that in the premium kit. We've also got some pretty, interesting vehicles here. So I like the Executioner. There is a debate about whether or not the Imperium should have hovercraft, basically floating tanks. It was always that they shouldn't have that as a general rule of thumb. Now, the idea of the Primaris Space Marines is that Belisarius Kroll really sort of found the best technology in the Martian archives to give to them. Now, the Executioner is actually, in my mind, a nice combination of this, a Rhino, Rhino chassis, slightly Land Raider chassis. So if I only have a Horus Heresy Land Raider, so it's no point showing you that, but it has the look of a certain part of a Land Raider with the hover technology of the Land Speeder. So although it is very different to what the Space Marines had before in that it is a hover tank, it's also, it fits. So I know not everyone likes it. Personally, I think it's really cool. But of course, that's the whole point of having things like this hobby. You are free to disagree. Just be nice about it. I know there's people out there who dislike the fact that there was a female custodian. Again, I get that for some people it detracts too much from the lore, the established lore behind things. What I don't like is the fact that anyone, there's this hatred between people who like it, and please just don't. Just, if you like something, like it, okay? If you don't like something, okay, just remember it's a big universe, and without putting too fine a point on it, things do change, and it's anyway. Of course, I appreciate why people get frustrated when they believe things are being done in bad faith. Anyway, let's just move away from that now, because I don't want my first of all, I'm not that popular with YouTube, and I don't want to end up with my comments full of bickering over opinion. We're all in the hobby together. We're all loving the hobby. We all like killing each other on the tabletop, and try and make the real world a bit nicer, please. Right, so there's our Librarian, and the rules behind it and the data sheet behind it. Weapon abilities. So understanding that certain weapons have certain abilities. Again, librarians have this special kind of contraption built into their armor called psychic. I think it's the psychic hood, to reduce their chances of being corrupted. What else have we got here? Nice little scenario to finish up. Ooh, Librarian versus Lictors. That should be No, not Licted. Von Ryan's Leapers. Let's see what else there is in here. Oh no, it's not versus the Von Ryan's Leapers, it's versus the Hive Tyrant. Fair enough. Right. Normally at this stage I would do what's coming up, but I've already had those issues, which were the Terminators. But what I might do I have them in front of me? See, this is my problem. I keep putting things down and I never remember where I put them again. I'm sure I had my Terminators in front of me a minute ago. My amazing ability to put things down that were right in front of me 5 seconds before is quite amazing. I think I might have put them on the shelf. I was going to kind of say, you know, like these were the... Anyway. So there's no point in doing a what's upcoming here because, well, that's a bit redundant. What we can do, though, is have a lovely look at our Librarian, and it's just gone very dark colours. Let me put a light on. Oh, it's snowing again. Beautiful. Do you know, this is the first time in years that I've seen snow like this. This was common when I was a kid, like snow, like days of snow, and it's so rare now. You know, and I kind of miss that. Right, Librarian. So as you can see, this is a pretty damn cool model in the new armour to really upscale him. I love painting Librarians as well. Gosh, I need to find a way to get all those beautiful runes glowing. This is where I might have to break a rule that I made. You see, on one hand, I said I'm only going to use the paints that I have with the collection. On the other hand, this is a really beautiful paint to do glowing runes, and it would look absolutely awesome glowing out of my purple and white armour. No, sorry, I'm going to be good. I'm going to do it with the paints that we've got, and I'm going to use a little bit of one of my own personal techniques to try and get that to work. So we shall see how that goes. Right then, what a cool mini. And what a cool way to end. You also get a paintbrush, a medium basing paintbrush. You notice that basing paintbrushes tend to not be like a perfect cone, but they're not perfectly flat either. So I shall be using that in the upcoming videos. Ah, it's snowing again. Wonderful, beautiful, eh? Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.